Hello everyone, welcome back to Trek-A-Day. I just finished watching the latest episode of Strange New Worlds, Among the Lotus Eaters, and I really enjoyed this one. The Enterprise is sent to Rigel 7, where Captain Pike's previous mission to the planet had gone horribly wrong, and he lost several crew members, as well as leaving behind some bits of Federation tech, and it looks like that has had an influence on the culture there to a greater extent than he previously assumed. As it turns out, his personal yeoman, one of the people presumed to have died in the previous mission, actually survived and has now claimed himself to be king of this planet. And I like how that feeds into the plot. It feels very much like a mix of the Omega glory from TOS, and of course tying into the Cage and getting to not only revisit the planet that we see in one of the visions Pike has, but to see the aftermath of that mission gone wrong. And what I like in particular about how it is very reminiscent of those two TOS episodes is how the overall structure of the episode felt much more like an original series episode than some previous episodes of Strange New Worlds. It really, for me, this is one of a handful that stand out in that capacity, where it truly feels like it's connected to that time period. And it's kind of the vibe that I really want from this series. It's something that feels a little more TOS, and I like when an episode kind of captures that essence, and this does a great job with that. And it throws an even greater complication into the mix with the exploration of the memory loss, the effect that the planet has, which complicates the mission planet side, as well as gives us our B story as the Enterprise in orbit is experiencing the memory loss as well. And we get a little more time for Ortegas to shine, who tends to take a back seat when it's not an issue on the bridge, where it's not focused just directly on her piloting skills. So a little bit more of a focus on that character, even though she was disappointed she couldn't be a part of the away team. So it balanced being an original story that was a fun exploration of a culture with also being reminiscent of the original series and adding background and depth to episodes from that. So it kind of did everything that I wanted it to do. It ticked all the right boxes. It's also a story that, given what we've seen in the little snippets of this society, could have been very, very action heavy. Could have been just that, really. And I'm glad that it didn't go that direction, where there was action and excitement when it was needed, but it wasn't just completely focused on that, as we dealt with the memory loss issues and how that tied into themes of the power of memories and of living in the moment, which then tied into Pike and his more personal and romantic relationships. Everything just seemed to connect very well, and to me there wasn't really any glaring weak point in the episode. It was just an enjoyable, fun, standalone episode that also had some connections to things we've seen on TOS, which are, things to come from this perspective. So overall, a very enjoyable episode, and the kind of vibe that I like to feel from a Strange New Worlds episode.